Hey, for this perfect confirmation, do not make me your idol. So, we're going to lead off with this, okay? How do you get something into your heart, right? It sounds very simple, doesn't it? And then, there's this verse where we know God, the Most High gives all the fruits, right? The first fruits. We know that um, we are to love Him with all our mind, body, heart, soul, and strength. That's five things. And he said all of them. He didn't say some of them. So then, here's the kicker part, right? Um, what is strength here? Because to me, it sounds like weakness. It doesn't sound like strength. You know what I mean? Because if you need all your strength, then you're in lack of strength. Then you're relying on Him. You see where we're going? So even when you lack the ability to try to like hold on and stuff like that, He says, I want that too. He wants your weariness, and then He'll come down, He'll move on your behalf. That's what gets Him moving. But in order to get something to your heart, you need to understand your heart, and then you also need to understand the heart of the person that you're supposed to give first. Because if He says He wants all of your mind, body, heart, soul, and strength. Yeah, it sounds like mental, emotional, physical kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's a combination of things, So, but you also have to look in the past, the present, and the future. So let's look at your past experiences in relationships. Uh-oh. Here we go. You going there? All right. So, before I came into the kingdom, I was in the same sex thing, no longer associated. But I'm asking you this question for you, because I know my answer. But every time I ask someone else's answer, it's not quite formulated, which leads me to believe people are just doing things as a filler. So if you're in a relationship just for time to pass because you don't want to be alone, then you're in a state of weakness, are you not? Ooh. And then if He says He wants your mind, body, heart, soul, and strength, and your weakness, and you give it to somebody else, look at that. Okay, I'm not condemning. I'm not condemning at all. But I asked myself the same question, and I could not think of a single person that I gave to that extent other than a friend. Like anytime we rolled in, that love was felt, and people were envious and jealous. It was unspoken. So that's what I'm getting at. And so if friendship is true love, but then you seek marriage for true love, is that not distortion? So when you look into putting things to your heart, are the things that you're trying to put into your heart clean? How do you know the things are clean? What are you trying to put into your heart? And then are you including the Most High in the process? Because he surely point out some things that are not clean. You know? So this is that for me. This was one of the things that like I didn't think about it until like today, to be honest. And then I was like, "Ooh, that's a powerful message right there. That's powerful." So if friendship is the most powerful love that you could possibly have, then why everybody's trying to get into marriages? And then marriages, sometimes you don't understand them, and then you rush into them because you don't do the due process. A lot of people don't do the counseling like they're supposed to, and a lot of them they do it so rushed to the point when they get into it, it's just I don't know, the spark. Something. Where's the spark? Now you done made a major life decision, and now you're there. You're into each other, right? To death do you part, sickness and health. So the Most High says, I am thy God. So he says that, but then he keeps talking about a covenant. Well, what's the covenant? Okay, so if I'm good, then I get protection, I get blessings, I get things. Nice. When you're married, what is that? Oh, okay. So that's the same thing. So you mean tell me he created something of the world just so that for us, because I got divorced. It certainly didn't work out, and that was the only regret I had in my life. Not to cast stones or shade to the person, but the marriage is not easy. It is not easy. So it is something that you should take very slow and methodically and systematically, right? So if when you do find that person that doesn't have any sort of flesh-like enticements, any temptations, it doesn't really promote any like ill-mannered habits that you're not supposed to be doing. That person who is well-tempered, who actually balances you when you become on edge, you know what I mean? Now that's some people call that mimicking emotion, or you can mirroring emotions. You can mirror your friend's emotions and as one. Y'all begin to sound alike to the extent that y'all move alike, and then something happens in the physical, y'all begin to look alike. Okay, so that's interesting, is it? That's really interesting. So that leads us to Adam and Eve. The Most High made animals. Adam didn't want the animals. He wanted a companion just like the animals. And then the Most High told Adam, hey, name the animals. Adam went over, named all the animals. So then the Lord made him Eve. He rejected the animals as a companion. Yeah, all this gorgeous creation, and the animals, and you had the Most High, you know what I mean? But yet, and then in the first chapter, everything was spirit. Everything, he created everything in the spirit first. Even Adam. He just all right, go ahead. Get in. You know. Now, Eve was spirit, but he didn't want spirit. He didn't want spirit. So then that meant what? The Most High was what? Spirit. I know. So then if Adam wanted Eve and the Most High took a part of his rib, as they say, and as it's written, that's just interesting. You take flesh from one person and not take flesh from another. It's like one of those double-edged swords. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know, typically a person only makes that very thing in which they desire to eat. And then when they get done making that said thing, like that gourmet five side meal, entree meal, and you sit down, but then somebody else comes down and sit down at your plate and begin to take what you made for yourself. But he doesn't say anything. He just, oh, okay. But then he's like, oh, okay. And then you ask him for a wife. He says, okay, sure. But then he takes a part of your rib. In creation, nobody went to sleep other than Adam. Adam underwent surgery. The Most High wanted him to feel pain, because he's going to experience pain because he's going to wed with a wife. So the Most High puts that rib into Adam's, or into Eve, and she was made the same things: dirt, water, and the breath of life. Now, it seems kind of interesting, though, you know, because if we're made in his likeness, right? And if your friends do something kind of shady, and you know what I mean, wouldn't you feel some sort of way? And then you were in the right, and then an agreement was already established, but then it kind of switched up at the last minute. Oh, okay. So now you don't want the spirit, nor do you want the animals, but you want the very spirit in flesh, because you're flesh now. So you don't want me, even though you told me you want me, but you want the things that I could do. When would I get the very thing that I want? But I can't say that, because I don't want you to feel condemned. I don't want you to feel bad. I don't want you to feel guilty. I don't want you to feel as if you owe me anything, because I brought you into this world thinking that I will be able to get the very thing that I want, and that people will see me for the face value that I am, and that the face value of a person, not an equal, just as a person. I too have wants. I too have desires. I too have burdens you cannot understand. So then he takes the rib from Eve, and he puts it in Eve. Now, why would he take? She was the only one. Why would he put flesh into Eve? Doesn't that sound like she would have a proclivity for flesh? Now here's this. A lot of people say Eve, she's the one who started the whole mess. No, it was Adam, because he chose flesh. He was the first one to choose flesh. No, but no, get this. But he dismissed God in the right beginning. He refused him, and then after he refused him, he said, "I want a wife." That's like salt to a wound. After you done all the work, you're the first of everything, and you pretty much spit in his face. Now, I'm not condemning, and we shouldn't talk down about the spirits or anything like that. Alive or dead, but we could all learn from each other's decisions, from our past, from the things that we want to move towards. That's the only way we learn from testimonies. We learn from progression. We learn from how to strategize plans. We learn from each other. So Adam here pretty much helped to establish a new generation of people that will pick themselves over the Most High and desire marriage over the Most High. And so after each covenant union, they would pick each other. They would pick each other. And then after, some sprinkling effects of, oh, I got one here. Okay. He wants to do, okay, cool. I was expecting. Nice. I'm happy now. Just imagine every millisecond, you're reliving rejection, refusal, countless number of times. And then on top of that, you're witnessing death. People choosing flesh, people dying because of that reason. And then you're in and out in terms of different tenses and different the past and present and future tenses. And you're trying to help people make better decisions and put them in areas where they will live longer. You know what I mean? And sin is not as prevalent, or the offenders aren't necessarily overwhelming, so you can have a successful and better and more promising and profitable life. Not by money, but in terms of favor and being able to obtain the things that you need. So here they went out, and Eve did things. She took the apple. But here's the kicker. They were born, but they didn't know any better. It was one mistake. And they got kicked out. One mistake. And then Eve went to the serpent, and the serpent said, but you can be like God and know all things, good and evil. And she took the apple. Now, whether or not this is truly in an apple, because we are supposed to discern when we read the Bible. We're not supposed to look at the flesh when we read the Bible. So that apple wasn't indeed an apple. I know. So if that apple was actually indeed wisdom, what is wisdom? Wisdom is knowledge and experience. So Eve was given prophecy of things that she desired, she internalized, and came into agreement with for the things that are to come in her wheelhouse, and in terms of what she wants and independence. And so the Bible says she shared some of her apple with Adam, but people say she tricked Adam. Adam was right by her side. Why didn't Adam speak up? I don't know. So it's not that they both made the bigger issue. But why didn't they choose obedience over that very thing? Why didn't they choose to stick with the tree of life? Why choose the good and bad? The tree of knowledge of good and bad. Because if the tree of life was similar effect, but had fewer things, then that would be kind of messed up, would it not? So that would be like a third time they rejected him. Because the tree of life was present. It was there. And they can interact with all the spirits. And they can gain all the wisdom they want. But they wanted like this alternate world where they can selectively choose things in which they can follow and things which they choose not to follow. Now does that sound familiar? Have you ever been a kid and your mom or dad tell you like, hey, I don't want you going over that friend's house? And you say, why? Because I told you so. I don't need to give you an answer. You need to listen to the things in which I say. You live in my house. But surely there's a reason why. Because they see some some desirable attributes that the other child is illustrating, right? So despite the tonality, there's still protection and love there. But then if you're that kid and you still go, ooh, then are you naive in that situation? I mean, you didn't mess up creation, but you certainly disobeyed your father. And then what about when the Most High presents himself to most people? Well then, you're Adam. Everybody here is Adam. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to pick the very thing and have the best time enjoying the first of every experience. That sounds like heaven, does it not? That sounds like heaven to me. But then people go on their own ways in terms of how they envision life, but not knowing the very things in which what they envision was misprogramming. And then also family interceding and seeding bad seeds because they had the experience with God before too. And they're trying to sabotage not you, but him. Ooh. You're not gonna like this story. So everybody here is Adam. And Eve did another, and she messed up once, and she got kicked out. They got kicked out. But Adam, he didn't speak up. He had a chance to speak up. Tell Eve, woman, get back over here. I don't know. You ain't do that, right? So, right? So then he just went along with whatever she was, her proclivities were. He didn't have a voice. But, you know, I digress in that respectively. But then get this. And in the later parts of the chapter, after they leave, they have a couple kids. And God blesses them with another kid. Now, is that not love? That's love. That's love. And they reestablish covenant. So they went from light to darkness to light. And they passed away being light. That was good. But here, good isn't because there was light. Good here is because they experienced light and darkness and were able to discern the good because of the said experience. Which is why you see that pattern, light, dark, light, and in covenant with the Most High. So rather than pinpoint people's mistakes, rather than pinpoint the gravity of their mistakes, maybe we should reevaluate ourselves and whether or not we're making the best decision over our own lives, and whether or not we're including the Most High in all of our ways of living. Because it is not fair for us to condemn the dead. It's not fair for us to condemn the living. Now I can hear in the spirit. And trust, they got feelings too. Okay, Dad. Okay, Dad. So be careful with how what you say about the dead, because you and they're not dead. They're just, you know what I mean? But they're in this transitional. I'm not gonna say the afterlife, because that insinuates, you know, they're living now. Who's to say this ain't death? Because we're flesh and he's spirit. You see where we're going with this? We're not living until we die. You get it? So, okay, now that's just I'm telling you. So if that's truly indeed the case, so we're gonna go back and revisit, how do you get things into your heart? Well, you need wisdom. How do you acquire wisdom? Well, you need knowledge and experience. How do you acquire those things? Through living. Did Adam or Eve live? No. They were like man and woman, but they were kids. They had no knowledge. None. But he knew they were going to disobey. He knew they was going to disobey. But it would have been nice if they would have adhered. Because now he had to work double, triple, quadruple time in terms of trying to keep everybody in line. You know what I mean? He's a busy guy. So I say all this to say that, you know, now we know that wisdom gets into the heart. But when you read the Bible, how do you get the said things into your heart? And how do you know that the very things that are in the Bible are good? Because you need to serve it. You need to serve it. So you need like someone to that would have taught you to minister, or like some sort of like ability to tell you this is his will, and if you see this is seed of corruption, this is seed of death, this is the seed of deception, this is the seed of seduction, perversion, lust. So if you don't have those very things and you go into a marriage wanting those very things, then your heart is deceived. Then you can't put anything into your heart, because you're gonna make it corrupt. And then that explains why you don't want the Most High coming into the relationship, because you know he ain't gonna go for that. you know he not gonna go for that. So when we get things to the heart, we go into the Bible. But you need wisdom. You need past, present, future. So when you read the word, and if it's good, you pray on it, and you say, hey, Most High, can you discern the good for me? Or am I discerning good here? Or is this flesh talking? Now you're making it a relationship. Ooh, that's powerful. That's, ooh, watch out. He likes some intimacy like that. Ooh, and you're relinquishing control. You let him lead the ministry. Okay, come on now. So then he says, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. You know what I mean? And then you allow him to minister to you. And then you hear what he says. You write everything down. And then you read it, and you study it, and then you meditate in it, and then you speak it over your life, and then you envision yourself doing that very thing. And then when that day comes at the end, and you're like, okay, at work, I'm just going to think about this one thing, and I want to include it in my life, and then I want to say it to people around me, because I want to be a doer of the word. And I want to see this very thing, and I want to share it with everybody, because the heart is love, and the Most High, He is love. Thank goodness. So then that's present. So then you go back in the past, and you say, was this present in my past? Now what you're doing is you're coming to agreement. You're coming to agreement. You're like, no. This is definitely 100% good, because in my past, this wasn't the case. This is something very different. I was like, when I was a kid, I remember my mom, and she would do these sad things, and I cried from time to time, and I just didn't understand why she would do such things, and whatever the case may be. And so I believe the very thing what the Most High is telling me, and how He ministered to me. Okay, now. So you put yourself in that situation, but this is His ministry. He ministered to you the very thing. So you're coming and screaming from His perspective. That's His will. So then you look into the future. And then you say, oh, wait. I want to make sure that I get this right. I want to make sure I get this right, because He gave me the present. And I went back to the past. But then the present, the future is something very different. I have no idea how that looks. So then I go back to Him for the same thing. Same verse. The same ministry part. And I'm like, can you give me the future? Like, oh yeah, sure thing. And He tells you. And then you look like, oh, okay, it's very different. I wasn't anticipating that. So then I need to be ready for the future. I need to acquire these skill sets of attributes. I need these titles, because the ways of the world, they require certain attributes and skill sets. If He wants me to move in this direction, then this is what I need to do. That's work. That's agreement again. So you done came into agreement with His will twice. But you didn't ask Him about the past. See, you seen what He was doing in the present and the future, but you went on your own strength in the past, and you was looking for answer to cookie fit into his very thing. So now you have to go back to Him and go back to the past and say, where were you in this past in reference to this? And then He says, I was protecting you. Ooh. Yeah. There was a lot much more dark stuff that your folks was into. Now that changes things. Now you're looking at it like, oh, actually, I see that now. It could have been way worse. What was that? Humbling. He humbled. and you surrendered, and you are grateful. Ooh. So that right there, that was intimacy. That's how you interact with the Most High. That's how you get the things that you want into your heart. Because if you go on your own understanding, you'll be misguided. You don't know left to right. You say, hey, I'm going down this way. Didn't I tell you I'll instruct, like, contact me in all your ways of living? When you get to that corner, you better seek for me every quarter. Yeah, you heard me there. Now, in terms of that's just your heart. Imagine the mind, and the body, and then the soul. And then you go back to that same verse and you do the same thing again. Now, you're thinking like, oh, this is just one verse. No. That's not just one verse. Sweetie, that's not one verse. That's food. That's food. That's how you eat. That's how you relive and get back into Genesis. That's how you get back into Genesis, where all creation will talk. The trees and the animals, they will talk to you. If you eat like that and come into agreement with the wildlife that he created and feel that level of emotions. Now, I'm not even going to go and like any further. But remember, they went back into covenant. Light to dark to light. Where are you at now? I'm not judging. But he says judge not, because a lot of people are quick to judge. So Adam and Eve, they're actually one of the most incredible stories you'll read in the Bible, because it shows how Adam, he could have strengthened up in some areas in terms of being more vocal in a relationship, being more more masculine and present, more firm and assertive. And and Eve, well, she could have, she could control herself. She had flesh in her. What you expect her? I don't know. Birds of a feather flock together. It just is what it is, So wisdom, there's good and bad, but where you get it from matters. How you acquire thing matters. Think about it like this. If you were to buy a house, and each and every single house uses X, Y, Z number of said wood boards. Think about it. Just think about it. If you were to say, I know I'm planning to buy a house, and I believe I'm going to get the house that I want, but I want to make sure that this purchase is clean. How do you do that? So you go in and you calculate the number of total wood and the materials that you need, and you figure out where each quality material comes from, whether it's synthetic, whether or not it's natural. And then you donate to those said organizations to plant trees, to clean up the oceans, to clean the air. Are you hearing me? But before you even start, you pray, and then you say, "Hey, Most High, I wanna make this clean." And I know you created all creation, and I know I have to work to acquire said thing, and I don't expect you just to, just to give it to me. So, can I just first plant however many trees times 3, because there's 3 persons in the Holy Trinity, and I want to show respect because I know that each one of you created all of this. It's not just one. And me being selfish and wanting a house, meanwhile knowing that it's going to kill the very thing and dwellings for the wildlife. And then I already know that because Genesis 1, animals are blessed as well, including the fish and the birds and the beasts and the livestock. And humans are blessed, but we aren't killed. I mean, you know how it goes. But we slaughter the animals. We slaughter them because we are hungry. But yet, all this vegetation that you could choose from the thistles to the herbs. So if that's the case, then he says, okay, if you do that, we'll see. But you have to be patient. You can't just go ahead and get the house. You have to wait, because I want to see each tree. I want to see each sapling before I tell you you can go ahead and get it. You see what we're doing here? I'm teaching you how to get things clean. So we talking about the covenant of the Most High, but all creation have that very same covenant. But you don't see that. Genesis, it tells you for the trees. Everything comes with a cost if you kill. If that very thing has respiration and breath, you killed it. There's a wage of sin attached to that. So if you go and buy a house just on impulse, there's a level of oppressive, unseen force. Just like Eve went into that apple, even though it was spirit, it was no apple. So if you be spirit and you don't go for that very thing right off the top, come on now. If you include him, the Most High, in all your ways of living first, and then allow him to lead and guide you and instructing you in what you should do, if you humble yourselves before him and put down all your glory and all the honors that you have at his feet, he will surely clean that very thing that you want and that you ask for. And if you surely are willing to do the work, your house will be protected. If there's a tornado happen, your house will be the only one on the block still remaining untouched, fence and all, because he protects those that love him, that seeks him wholeheartedly. So how did we get here from Adam and Eve? Because all creation have a covenant with God. That's the point. We always go into the bias and we say me. But he says no. Love thy neighbor as thyself. The neighbor is the tree. The neighbor is the bird. The neighbor is, the bushes. The neighbor, the squirrels, and are you feeding them? Are you giving them vitamins? If you were, just think about this. They just might start talking back to you. You might be propelled in the spirit. So If I do things in accordance as planning and believing in said things and respecting the due process and respecting the way of life, then he'll bless it. Well, yeah, because you're blessed. Just like the animals, just like the birds. And indirectly the trees. Yeah. But that's how you get clean things. Now you just seen what we did there, right? You that's the same thing in terms of going to the Bible and going to Him in past, present, and future. But you got to do the same thing with the house. How will you honor me with this said house? Past, present, future, and you allow Him to lead. What would you sacrifice for me? How would you promote my name? All right, now. So Adam and Eve is more than Adam and Eve because we only talk about Adam and Eve, but it's all creation. And it's not necessarily the scene because when you read the Bible, you go into looking at the answers for you. You look for the selfish things. That's the selfish thing. That's the design that like people go for. Oh, he just ate from the apple. Ah, but it was no apple. It was spirit. She took the wisdom. She took the prophecy that she can be independent. She didn't have to tell Adam about it because he already knew. They were wedded. You know how she was. Whether or not it was only like 1, 2, 10 days to their marriage, I don't know. 20, I don't know, But that's messed up. Either way, y'all both refused the Most High. But then they found a way back. They found the way back to the lights. That's the good story. That's how it's supposed to be. Because me and myself and I've done the same thing. I backslid twice. But I wasn't understanding, comprehending the things that were before me. I didn't have anybody to speak to. I didn't understand, and then people wouldn't share. People would keep the word to themselves. So I backslid twice. Formerly in a gay lifestyle. Do you know how strong that stronghold is? That's probably one of the strongest strongholds on this planet. So when you hear a testimony from a person from that side of camp and they came out and stayed out, man, if I was him, I'd be like, what do you want? What do you want? I got you. Now, there was one time when I went to church and I sat down and stuff like that. Now, the crime that I did, it was pretty offensive. It was a bunch of news and SWAT teams and all this other stuff. It was massive, you know what I mean? And I was just trying to to just sit down and just whatever, because I knew where I was at. I knew what I was doing. And I was provoking. But God's up there. You're like, you ain't doing bad like that. Are you hear what I'm saying? I wouldn't be here. It worked for him. So it took a couple times after I backslid to like, then he started coming and revealing himself more and more. Then I started diving into the Bible more, and then I was like, oh man, wow. And then I came back to the city here and in Appleton, and then I was like, I went to this one church, and this pastor gave the sermon. Every time I go to a church, they always give a sermon that's catered to me. It's almost like they know me better than I know myself, or they trying to make it seem that way. So be careful with that. But because I was so connected with the Most High, he gave me instructions before going to any church. So I hear it. He's like, stay firm and believe in the things in which I told you. All right. So I went. And this one pastor gave this sermon, and he was like, I don't understand how gay people can give up that lifestyle. And he was so sentimental about it. And know that they're not going to ever be able to have a wife. Not be able to have kids. Not be able to, experience the love within a wife and a husband. It was passionate, and he had tears. It was genuine what he was saying. And I was looking around, and I was just looking, but I was filled with the Spirit. It was thick. The Spirit was telling me otherwise. So this is why they didn't want. This is why a lot of churches, try to misguide and mislead and stuff like that. It's because they don't want things exposed. Because when a person that close, all the spirits, not just Holy Spirit, all the spirits of the Most High, Holy Trinity, reveal truths, not just one. I'm just letting you know. And I'm also letting you know each one of the spirits have their own confirmation, style, voice, and personality. So if you can only hear one, you still got two. Yeah, let's remember that. But then, that's interesting. Because I'm thinking about now, you know how many times people they go and then they mess up their bodies and stuff like that as well. The same with the gay lifestyle. You mess it up because you're not happy, and you go into the very things, and then you seek after what you see, and you validate what you see, and then what you feel, and that other thing that you see, and then you hope to feel something that you don't want to feel, like you currently feel, but you want to feel something better, and then it doesn't give you that thing. So now you're just chasing, and then it becomes just empty, void. So that's my testimony. But I was different. My testimony is different than any other gay person. Yeah, and I'm not gay, but I'm just saying that was my former life. So, I had lost hope. That's why I went in it. I wasn't in it that before. But surely they were trying to get me in it. But I would say this. Love thyself, love thy neighbor as you do yourself. And then that's just the takeaway thing. But loving yourself is just as equally as important. Loving your body is the same. Because if you go and do the very same things, remember, he made us in creation, and the bodies is the one part, right? This is one body, but the sums of the part equal the whole body. Who does that sound like? Isn't that consistent with The Holy Trinity? They're three, but they're one. One body. So are you treating your body with the love and respect that you're supposed to treat it? Are you speaking to your brain and saying, thank you, brain, thank you? Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do the very things and work and then do the hobbies and be as creative as I should be. Are you giving your brain the thanks and the Most High? Well, first, give him the first, fruits of gratitude. And then you give your brain the very thing. But do you see this? So in hindsight, because your brain does things in accordance to the Father's will, but if you don't do the things that your brain tells you to do, you're not doing the things that the Father wants you to do. And the heart, are you speaking life over your heart? Are you saying, thank you, heart, I love you? Because if you do, you'll get confirmations from your brain. If you speak life to your brain, if you give him gratitude, give the Most High and give him all the first glories of fruit of gratitude, and say, thank you, you created my body perfect, every single part. And then you go to your brain, and you go to your heart, you go to your legs. And I just love you, and I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. So then that confirms that we indeed don't have any glory. Because if each body part that you acknowledge having and it being its own part that you don't control, but your brain controls. But the brain is controlled by the Most High. And he created the brain. So you indeed don't have anything. You don't have any glory. You don't have a body. That's the point. You don't even have the spirit. So when he says, give me all the glory, all the honor, that's true. Oh, come on now. Come on. That's how you get things into your heart. That's how you get your brain to protect you. Your brain's going to be like, oh, you're doing all this for me? Oh, man, you giving me so much recognition. I'm not even used to being understood like this. Your brain will start giving you visions. You know how you pray? You say, hey, Abba, hey, Holy Son, hey, Holy Spirit, can you give me confirmations? And they give you that ding and the ba and okay, and they'll each give you that vision. But I'm telling you, if you live like Genesis, and you love thy neighbor like thyself, if you give him all the glory, even though each body part, and you give your body part acknowledgement and love for what it does and what it contributes to a good quality life, your brain, your heart, your limbs, your feet, your eyes, your nose will give your joints. It will give you confirmations. If you want a spiritual lab, I'll certainly create one for you. Hashtag test your faith. But I just gave you the outline. You gotta give him all the honor, all the glory. And you gotta put love into each part of your body. The ways of this world will get you condemned so you cannot see and so you cannot hear. In Genesis 1, creation, all were spirit, and all spirit of animals and birds were talking to each other. But now we can't hear them because everybody's killing them and cursing them. Trees would start talking to you. Try praying for some trees. Praying for protection, praying for nourishment, praying for pest control, praying that, it has predators too. It doesn't have any woodpeckers. Praying that, it doesn't get struck down, by any said natural disaster. That's how you elevate in spirit. And then animals, and then trees, and then things with them seem kind of, what is happening here? Then you become like Noah. I'm not even gonna go there yet though, because that's something totally different. But what we're going to do here is say that the Adam and Eve, they lived life, and they lived a good life, and they ended with being in covenant. Just like myself, I was in covenant, but I knew not. And I wasn't aware that disobedience, or the level of disobedience, could possibly be seen as rebellion. Because my parents took me to church, but then I allowed the ways of the world to get to me and then say, whatever, I keep getting pushed down and I can't get the very thing no matter how much I attempt to get it. It seems like every time I reach my arm out, it's just well pulled away. Why should I even try? So now it's different. So I went from light and then dark, and now I'm in light. So I am in the likeness of Adam and Eve, myself. I don't have a flesh companion. But I did ask the Most High for a covenant of union, because there's nobody that I've had that protected me like that. There's nobody I've had like that ever comforted me like that. There's nobody like that I've had that ever showed that they really truly cared. A true unfailing love. And I had marriage. I was in marriage. But the things that they were doing, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. And I was getting feeds on my YouTube, and I wasn't spiritually inclined. And I was just like, hey, that's interesting. That looks like the very house I'm in. And that looks like the very person what is he pouring? Okay. Now, I'm not even gonna go there. I am not. It is a miracle. I have had many of visions of seraphim over my life. They only come when there's been a significant violation and they right the wrong. Okay, now. So, how do you know something is clean, and how do you get into your heart? You go to the Most High and you humble yourselves and you put everything before His feet. All glory, all honor. You allow Him to lead with the word. You get the word. And after you receive the word, you marinate in it. You do it. Present, past, future. But you allow Him to lead in each tense. Because He's the leader. And then if you ask for some sad thing, you do the same thing. But then if you kill something that has respiration, is it clean? Because like in the Bible, whenever somebody had made a grievous sort of sin, they had to kill an innocent animal to transfer that wage of sin to that dead animal. Remember, they just killed an innocent animal that was blessed. That's the same as saying holy. That's the same as saying righteous. The Most High put somebody in my path where they changed my whole perception in terms of how I look at food. But the general public would dismiss her because of the type of person she was. And she wasn't special. She wasn't. She was passionate, and she knew exactly what she was talking about. She knew exactly what she talking about. I was like, you gonna be something. I see what you gonna be, a veterinarian. I claim it. I claim it. I need to pray that over her right now again. Me about the people around her, no. She need to be. You need to stop calling her because she's more than capable. She's strong. She just gave me a testimony, and she just changed my view. And I wasn't a stiff neck in terms of diet, but her passion and her heart in it. Man, I was just like, yeah, I cannot look at food the same way after that, young lady. So I became a vegetarian, but I eat more like a vegan. Yeah, soaps are made with animal fat. Lip balms, sometimes animal byproducts, bees, wax. So I say all of this because a covenant is just life connected. We're all connected with each other. Are you gonna show love to your neighbor, literal, the person, to the animals, to the trees, to the air, to the water? Are you not gonna waste water? Are you gonna make sure the air is clean? Think about the birds. They're flying high, long durations, and you in your car running it, playing music for 30 minutes, just sitting in the driveway. Okay, now, is that love? So you can see that every decision that we make comes with a cost. Are you making a clean choice? Are you strategizing? Are you planning? And are you including him in on it first? And are you making sure he leads to make sure that it stays clean? That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And you speak life over your body. You give him all the first fruits as gratitude. Then you speak over your body like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. And your body will start giving you your own confirmations. Your body will start giving you visions because you're showing it love. Imagine if you do that to the animals that you don't eat. You'll move in the spirit. They can tell in the spirit. They'll give you that same love. So there's your spiritual lab. Speak life over your body. Give him all the first gratitude first fruits. Then give your body some gratitude and love. Speak it to everybody how great your brain is and how great what your brain did. Today, I gave the Most High all the honor and glory. Because he blessed me with my body. My body, and my brain is according to the Father's will. And he sent my brain a vision. And then my brain gave it to me. And I seen it. And my eyes allowed me to perceive the image. And it was clear. It wasn't distorted. It was vivid color. And in my nose, I was immersed. Not just in the physical, but in sensories. So I thank you. I thank you for the nose as well, Holy Abba. I thank you, Holy Abba. Thank you, nose. Thank you so much. I love you, teeth. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Because if I wasn't able to, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to eat. I wouldn't be able to eat the carrots. I wouldn't be able to eat the sweet peas. Thank you, teeth. You're beautiful. You're radiant. And you're a gift from God. And I'll cherish you, and I'll make sure I'll do you right. I'll treat you right, because you treat me right. Because every time I'm able to go about, I'm able to work and sustain at work because you're fully functional. And every time I smile, people see the smile, and it's not me they see, but they see the Most High, and they pay me with compliments that I don't feel like I should be receiving, but the Most High. But it lifts my day up because it comes from a good place. So you see what we're doing. We're speaking life, and then you get visions from your teeth. You get confirmations from your teeth. Speak it. This is a spiritual lab. Hashtag test your faith. Are you going to stay blind and unseen, or are you gonna try and keep yourself in covenant with the Most High? And if you're out of covenant, how do you get back in covenant? Right? All right now. So allow him to lead, and I just pray on it. Ask him, what do you need? What do you need? Because he got a lot of prophets out. He got a lot of people. He can certainly get things over to you. He can certainly allow you to piece things together, and you can confirm yourself. There's ways around it. So for some people, he'll say 5 days, do a fast. Some he'll say 15. Some he'll say, nah, you are doing some really, I need 30 days. You know, I need a 30-day atonement fast. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the said sin or whatever the offense was. It's just the matter of the greater the day. It correlates also to pride. Essentially, that's what it alludes to. So each and every time you just humble yourself. You just humble. Just humble. But I love me some tests. I love some tests. Now, you can't. I go to him and I tell him, give me the test. I'm going to ask you the test. Can I create a test? God, man, come on. That's the only way you can make sure that, you know, you are who you say you are, that you speak, and convince yourself to be. Because if life doesn't happen, then, you know, then that's not validated. Now, the Most High says he's not a man that he should lie, but, you know, we're flawed, we're for flesh and spirit, so we can easily be influenced by the environment and the people in which they're around us. So I say all this to say, speak life to everybody around you. Speak life to give him all the first fruits. Make sure you give him the tithes. Make sure you give him the first time. Make sure you give him the first of everything you have. And he'll love you the same. He'll reveal himself to you the same. He'll give to you the same. He's loving. He's loving. Okay, now. How will I know these things if I do your own spiritual lab? Who you think told me to do the spiritual lab, the spiritual field lab? Hashtag test your faith. Where do you think I got that from? Because people don't know that the importance of faith is currency in the world. But it's not about the world, it's about him. How to please him. And then making sure that when you leave your body, you're filled with enough faith. So you can be light to help other people while you're a spirit. And so you don't condemn yourself as a purgatory spirit that lacks faith. Okay, now. So I done said a mouthful, but that's it for now. So we done talked about Genesis, Adam and Eve, creation, how to get things in your heart, how to build intimacy with the Most High, how to ask for clean things. Like Adam and Eve. But Eve didn't do that. She didn't ask. She just went. So if you first seek him in all your ways of living, he'll tell you the level of oppression or like opposition over the said thing that you very, very well want. But if you give him the first and plan and seed and sow life and speak life and demonstrate love to not just the covenant within that he created, but to him first too. And there's three persons. And if you speak love to the body that he made to do in accordance to his will. Life, creation, your body parts, your brain, your mouth, your eyes, everything will start giving you their own confirmations to protect you because they see things in the unseen too. How would I know this? Spiritual lab. Just keep asking your body parts. Just start with one and then you keep giving it like that, speaking life over it. Hey, did you send me this confirmation? If you didn't get it from here, and then you ask Satan, like, hey, Satan, did you send it? No? Okay. Did you? Hey, brain, did you send that confirmation? Woo. And then you hear, okay, now. So the book tells you these things. I'm here to give you the truth. I'm here to give you empowerment. If you don't want the empowerment, if you don't want the very word and you reject this word because it gives you life and you want to be in the ways of the world, then that's your choice. But when you give up the body, I say give up the body. Because, that's just dead weight. Spirit floats, just like hope. To me, it sounded like the spirit was hijacked. It was prisoned. Do you hear what I'm saying? Condemned to flesh. Speak life over yourself. Speak life over people. Speak life over creation. Speak life. Give him all the first. And then even give him life. You could bless him and say, hey, is there anything I could pray for you over? Ooh, I'm giving you ways that how come on now. If you wanna get in, with the Most High, you know what I mean. You know what gets him? Faith, intimacy. Okay, now. Okay, you do these things, man. You do these for 30 days consecutively. If you dedicate, like, okay, this week we'll do it like, we'll do these 4 days. No matter if I'm tired of whatever, I get off work, it doesn't matter. These are going to be the days I'm going to spend with the Most High. And I'm going to sacrifice in that. I'm going to fight my sleep. But I'm going to pay every attention to everything that he instructs and he says. Watch what he does for you. He did it for me. I'm here telling you. So I shouldn't be here. I defied the physics. I defied the logic of men. I defied everything. I should not be here. Why am I here? Because I gave him everything. And he even asked him for marriage because he's done so much for me. Now, marriage, that's something different. Now, he says, I am that I am. He gets the title. He gets the glory. We have no glory. That's the point of this whole video. If you didn't catch it at the end, we have no glory. But the flesh makes you think you have the glory. The spirit is not yours. The body is not yours. The body gives you its own confirmations. Unseen. But you treat it like crap. Just like the animals and just like the trees, so they don't speak to you. I'm only telling you the things in which are my testimony. Guaranteed other priests and pastors wouldn't tell you. I'm here to empower knowledge. I'm here to empower you because I want you in the unseen. Don't be fooled. Live in the unseen first. Plan in the unseen first. Trust in the unseen first in Him. Love in the unseen. Pray. Speak life. Speak gratitude. Speak love over everybody and everything, including your body parts, which are not your body parts, are His. They're His body parts. Watch. You're going to feel things happening. You're going to feel things healing on itself. You speak love over to yourself like that, your body be like, ooh, why you making me so special? You ain't doing this stuff. You ain't never done this before. You going to make me want to like run out to the store and get you something. Okay, now. You know. You know, your kiddies come back with like a dozen of roses and some chocolates. Okay, now. Speak love over your body. So there are people that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which part of the kingdom. If you give and you speak love, whatever, speak it, give it, speak it, give it. If you're asking for healing, if you're asking for a marriage, if you're asking for a house, you gotta give love first. You gotta give work, and you gotta give dedication to Him first. That's a process. If you jump that process, yeah, the very thing you get is going to be cursed. Just like people jump into marriage, it's cursed. I just gave y'all the sorry. I told you, I give you the knowledge. I give it to you. I give it at face value. I done meditated in this thing. Genesis, the first, come on now. Genesis life. And I, just like Adam and Eve, we are sheep of the same cloth. But we both were back. We came back into covenant. Okay? When you coming back? When you gonna come back? Is it gonna be today? Tomorrow? Well, take your time. Because you got all the time in the world. Even though you don't know the day or time when it comes. But remember, you gotta demonstrate some things. You gotta build up that faith. So you can at least work on the faith. But how you gonna work on faith if you don't go to Him and seek Him first? You can't be a walking contradiction. Come on, then. Don't do that. Don't do my father like that. I digress. But I'm here to empower. I am not here to make a profit. I ain't here to keep information for nobody. What I know, you don't. Okay? So I don't care. Some people overseas might feel a little threatened. Because I know a lot more than what I'm leading on to. So, do these things and do your spiritual field lab. Hashtag test that faith. And be trusting in that He is who He say He is. I am that I am. There's nothing there. And it took this former gay dude to tell you he ain't got no sex. And because of the English language, that's what makes it awkward. Because the English language is quick to be dominating and to inflict power and submissive stance. It's just out of nature. You gotta blame the English language and every language actually. Okay, but do that. And even you married, give him. You can say, hey, can we do this over? Can we do this situationship in our marriage, and we want to give it to you? Oh, wait a minute. He'll be like, wait a minute. He'll spill out his coconut milk, and then you're like, wait, what did you just say to me? He like, wait, let me go grab a live wedge because this is a twist I did not expect. Okay, then. Let me get some honey because this is sweet. Okay, now, yeah. That's how you get him moving. Okay, so get out yourself in terms of you be thinking you know everything. Humble yourself, sweetie. Humble yourself, and before him, he'll give you the world. He'll give you the things you even asked for. He'll give you the things that he knows that you not supposed to have, but because of his love for you and his grace and mercy, he'll give it to you because of the love that you give him and to the other people and all creation in which he made. And for the fact that you seek him and wanted to know him wholeheartedly with no sort of things. How can a person say this? How can a person undeniably say this without knowing? So the enemy gonna come to you and say, "Oh no, he crazy. I done gave you my testimony. Okay, and okay, and ooh, he was like that. Okay." Okay, and the ones that should be locked up ain't locked up. But guess what? When I got out, the ones that should have went in, all right, they went in. Okay, now who's working for who? You can't tell me they're the holy God. You can't tell me that. All right, now. All right. Do better, be better, live better, and be all for him and give him all the glory and honor. Give creation life, speak protection, speak blessings over them. They need stuff too. And be doers of the word. Speak life over your body. Give him the first fruits over your body. Speak life over your body. Thank you, brain. I love you. I love you. I just want to say I love you because, you know, I know you do things in accordance to the Father's will. Thank you, kidneys. Okay, so I haven't been treating you well because I be drinking coffee a lot. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna reduce it a lot because I know I'm straining you a little bit. Okay, can you be patient with me? Can you be really patient? Because it's gonna take some time. But I'm for you. Because I know we're a part of each other. Okay, now. You do that, your kitty start giving you its own confirmations. Its own visions. Now, if you in the dark kingdom, do these things. Do these things. Because I know y'all be doing some stuff. Don't be going after no dark part, no dark seas, none of that other stuff. You know what I mean? Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. But speak life over your body. Speak life. Stop cursing things. Go to the Most High. Tell her, thank you for today. Even if you gotta whatever. Just say thank you. You don't have to go into it. Just say thank you. I acknowledge you. And then speak life over everything. Speak life over your body. I know you don't want to be in pain when you get old. I know you don't want to be using like 20, 30, 40 bottles of pills. Speak life over your life. Okay, now. Pray for confirmation of the message content here because, well, I get all this direct. It's okay now. All right. So let's stay in the covenant of love. And if you're not in the covenant of love, let's explore those options because, oof, I could be right here and then I say, hey, hey, I kind of want some coconut milk. No. But he is good. He is good. But yeah, he'll give you the things that you need. He'll give you everything more than you could ask for. He's good. He's great. He's beautiful. In accordance to everything and how everything's going now with spiritual warfare and all this other stuff, it'll be like you're in heaven. You're smiling. Everybody's like looking like oppressed and depressed and then like it looked like they're miserable, but then they trying to make it seem like they got everything together. How is that possible? I don't know, but he makes you feel like $1,000,000. And you know you ain't got no million. You know, that's how he makes you feel. Okay, now, all right, Dark Kingdom. I'm telling you. I don't hold back. Okay, now you know I was in that before, so I'm sharing the information. You can do it if you want to, or you don't, but you could benefit from it. So if you go to the doctor and you like, you told me you gave me this diagnosis, you better rebuke that in the Holy Trinity name. Now you got to believe in the sad things, but his grace is sufficient. He'll meet you where you at. And if you in the Dark Kingdom and you give him acknowledgement, you like, wait a minute, you just tell me thank you. Okay, so this sounds like something like you might want to like check out. Because if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. And if I speak it on your behalf, I might just say a prayer and ask him to pour a little by grace, a little by cup in your cup. So you can experience the very thing. Because he is good. And the very things that I'm touching on, they are very effective. And if you do the very things in which you're not supposed to be doing, well then you should hear the very things in which I'm telling you and you know they ain't true. So stop wishing and cursing on death and seeking the dead for the living. Okay? But I'm not condemning. But I'm just saying, because I want to see you live. Everything that you do in the dark, there's a cost. There's a wage of death associated with it. So be careful with that. You my brother. I always see you like, you know, all messed up and stuff like that. So I just want to see everybody healthy, happy, and like, you know, because life's too tough. Life is tough. We gotta speak love to each other. We gotta do for each other. We gotta do it. You know? I'm telling you. All right, now. I appreciate you. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate, you know, the positive feedback. I appreciate, you know, watching these long videos and whatever shorts, random. I can be extra sometimes. Sometimes I just feel extra sometimes. Sometimes. I just let it go. So his thing is, hey, be you. I created you to exactly how you're emoting. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Okay, now the world will tell you otherwise. The world will tell you, no, you ain't supposed to act like that. That's not how he said, no, I made you perfect. So I'll tell you what he said. I'm not saying that's confirmation, but I ain't pay nobody to hunk no horn. All right. And so yeah. So the most and holy Trinity send them all the undoubted confirmations of this said ministry and this said sermon, and give them all the confirmations, all of them, and the unseen and seen, through your mighty name, the Holy Trinity. Shalom. All right now. So let's stay prayed up. Let's stay in the Word. And let's love everybody in all creation and all of his body parts. Give it to him and speak life over his body parts.